Begin in studio this evening. Good evening, everyone. I'm Debbie Cobb. Butte County Sheriff Honea has been on the fire lines to see the damage there. He joins us now for an exclusive interview. Sheriff, thanks for joining us. Tell us, first of all, what you saw firsthand.
Well, thanks for having me, Debbie. I appreciate it. Really sorry to be here under these circumstances again. Never thought we'd be talking about something like this. I have been up there. I was up there certainly the night the fire kicked off and we were in the middle of evacuations. Very confusing environment, of course, because of all the smoke. But yesterday I went up into the Berry Creek area, and there is a lot of devastation. There's a lot of the buildings have been damaged or destroyed. In many respects, it was reminiscent of what we saw in the aftermath of the Camp Fire.
We've seen so far the death toll on the Bear Fire, 10, 16 missing. Have those numbers changed? Can you give us an update?
Yeah, so we will have an update. I don't have the final numbers yet. My staff is still compiling that for our 6 o'clock briefing. In terms of the people who are yet to be accounted for or we're looking for, a lot of work has been done on that. I think we've got some progress. I will tell you that we will be revising down the number of people that we believe perished in the fire to 9 as a result of one of those cases actually turned out to be an anatomical model of a skeleton that an individual had in his home, but when deputies first found it in its burned condition, it appeared to be that of a human being.
So it's good to see the number go down as opposed to seeing the reverse of that. Were any of those deaths, Sheriff, due to people actually refusing to leave their property, or were they actually could not get out of the area?
Well, I think certainly it's too early to tell about all of that. I mean, we're still in the process of trying to identify individuals, notify their next of kin. I'm aware of at least one case, and I'm not at this point ready to identify who that is, but the individuals were well aware of the fire. They were ready to go, but delayed significantly leaving, and then ultimately, when they did leave, it was too late.
How did the evacuations work?
So, as all fires that are of this magnitude, the situation changes rapidly, and in the early stages, there was some confusion in terms of where the fire exactly was. I think that we were working hard to gain a better understanding of the situational awareness. Once we had a better picture of that and started to start up our evacuation operation, overall, I think it went fairly well. But certainly life was lost, and that's not lost on me. It's something that weighs heavy upon me.
How would you compare this to the Camp Fire in terms of intensity and speed of the fire and people actually getting out of harm's way?
So preliminary, as I sit here today, and again, we're still early on in this event, there'll be time to reflect and learn more about it, but I certainly think that the Camp Fire not only informed our response and how we did things, but I think it probably informed the response of the general public. And as you know, in this community, we have been through many evacuations, and I think that that has ultimately helped. But at the end of the day, you're still dealing with human beings who think for themselves and don't always do what you ask them to do at the point where you ask them to do it.
Was there anything specifically that you can think of, Sheriff, that you were able to apply, that you learned from the Camp Fire, that you said, hey, this is what we learned, and bingo, apply it to this fire, that perhaps saved lives or made the evacuation process easier?
Sure. Well, certainly my hope is that some of the things that we brought to bear in this fire after our experience with the Camp Fire saved lives. But just to name a few, we utilized our Code Red system. We utilized the iPause system. We messaged in 3 different languages: English, Spanish, and Hmong. We had implemented the high-low siren for the deputies. That was utilized in this particular case. So there was things that we brought from our experience at the Camp Fire that we employed here, and certainly our hope is that they help save lives.
Sheriff, one of the things that residents expressed was their frustrations during the Camp Fire of not being able to get back into their homes in a timely manner.
Yeah.
Will they be able to get back home more quickly this time?
That is such a great question, Debbie. Thank you so much. I will tell you that when you're in the beginning of a situation like that, trying to figure out how far out you should order an evacuation is a very, very difficult process and a rapidly developing situation. Once you do that, the pressure to put people or allow people back in almost immediately begins. but we're working to try to get people back in their homes as soon as possible.
Closing thoughts on this fire and what you guys are actually doing right now as you and I speak.
So I still have my teams out. Law enforcement personnel are out patrolling those areas that have been evacuated to protect them. We have detectives who are going to areas that have been burned out, looking to determine whether or not there was anybody there and determine if there are human remains. And we're also working diligently to try to account for individuals who have yet to be accounted for.
You know, usually you and I, Sheriff, when we're meeting one-on-one like this, there's usually some kind of calamity. And I really think we've seen each other too much over the last 5 or 6 years.
I agree
with the Orville Dam situation, the Camp Fire, and now the Bear Fire. As Sheriff, what are your thoughts as far as trying to deal with the monster situations that we've seen in our county the last five years or so?
You know, it's funny, you often hear, well, this is our new normal. I don't really like our new normal.
I don't either.
Yeah, and you layer on top of that the COVID pandemic and how that's played out. There's just been so many challenges, not only in our county, but countywide. The fact of the matter is, we don't get to choose what comes our way. We just try to do the best we can under the circumstances and protect our community, and that's what we're going to continue to do every day.
All right, Sheriff, thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate your service. Thank you so much, and good luck out on the fire lines out there.
Thank you, Debbie.
All right, thanks, Sheriff.